my name is Jenna and today I'm going to be doing the book unhaul challenge. This challenge was created by Books and Lala. I will leave a link to their original video in the description box below, so definitely go and check that one out. There are 10 questions all encouraging you to unhaul books. I have recently been in the mood to unhaul, which if you know me at all, you'll know that literally never happens. I'm not an unhauler as such, but I have been in the mood recently, so I decided to do this tag and I'm actually kind of happy to be saying goodbye to all of these books. So without further ado, let's get started. So number one, a book that you rated low. So for this one, I'm going to be unhauling The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millward Hargrove. I give this one a 2 out of 5 stars. It has a beautiful cover and the prose is quite nice, but the actual plot itself was kind of disappointing. This was meant to be a retelling of The Brides of Dracula and it just wasn't. I mean, unless you count the epilogue being a total retelling, then sure, but the rest of the book was just kind of meh for me, and I have read this one, it was meh, so I'd rather pass this one along to someone else who may enjoy it more than I did. Please ignore the fact that the lighting in this room is terrible and that it's raining, because I don't have studio lights and it's raining, so you know, fun times. Number two, a book that you changed your mind about. So for this one, I'm going with The Duff by Cody Kaplinger. I bought this book all the way back when the movie came out, which was what, 2012, I think? I enjoyed it at the time, but looking back on it, why did I enjoy it? I definitely enjoy the movie more than I enjoy the book, and I don't know why I bothered. And I bought the movie tie-in cover as well, and like Bella Thorne's character is not even in the book. So while I enjoyed it at the time, I have definitely changed my mind about it since and have no problem unhauling it. Number three, a book from a series that you won't be completing. For this one, I'm going with Flame in the Mist by Renee Ardier. This is the first book in a duology, I believe, and we read this one for the YA Circle Book Club 2 years ago now, maybe even 3 years ago, I honestly can't remember, and I have no interest in finishing this series at all. It was a Mulan retelling, I believe, but I didn't particularly love it. I didn't love the writing style or the characters, so I just don't really see the point in continuing on with a series that I didn't particularly enjoy, and because of that, I don't see the point in keeping this book on my shelves. There used to be a time when I wanted to keep every single book that I had ever written. There used to be a time when I wanted to keep every single book I had ever read, but thankfully, I don't feel that way anymore, so I am able to get rid of this one. At this stage, I don't yet know where I'm going to be sending these books. I am contacting some schools to see if they're happy to take them, but otherwise there is a little library at my local shopping centre when we are finally allowed out of quarantine, and I could also maybe see if I can give it to the library or the Salvos or something, but I haven't really quite decided. Number four, a book that you DNF'd. Now, I do not DNF many books, and the ones that I do DNF is usually because I'm just not in the right mood for them, but I did find one, and that is the Best Australian Essays 2017. This was for one of my creative writing classes, maybe? Oh, I couldn't even tell you what class this one was from, but I got about halfway through this book during the course and I just ran out of time to finish it. I had plans to finish it, but looking back on it, I know I'm never gonna finish it. I think this is gonna be one that I'll need to take to the little library though, because there are notes all over it. Can you even see that? Because it's pencil, but yeah, I have notes all over it, so I might just write a little note at the beginning here saying this was a university book, my notes are all over it, sods. Number five, a book that you have multiple copies of. Now, I do have multiple copies of a number of books, but for this one, I am going with Akane by Lynette Noni. Yes, I know, I'm unhauling a Lynette Noni book. Who even am I? But I have 4 copies of Akane, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Audiobook makes 4. Ebook makes 5. Plus I want to get the hardcover. So I think I can afford to get rid of 1 copy, and I would absolutely love for other people to pick this one up and realize just how amazing a series it is. Number 6 is a book that you will never actually get to. And for this one, I've gone with The Talented Mr Ripley by Patricia Highsmith. This was one of my required reading books for my crime fiction and film class. And if you have been around on my channel since I've been at university, you all know that I quite often did not read books I needed to read for my university classes. This was one of them. I did like the concept of it though, so I sort of hung on to it with the idea that maybe I would read it one day, but I'm never going to read this book, so I may as well just pass it along to someone who may actually enjoy it. Also, weirdly enough, how much are those glasses like mine? What a weird time. Number 7 is a book that you bought because of the hype. So for this one, I'm going with The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I'm sort of cheating a little bit. I half bought this book because of the hype and half bought this book because it was the YA Circles Book Club Book of the Month one month rather. And I did not particularly enjoy it. I think I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't like the characters, I didn't like the world, I basically didn't like anything. Definitely not going to be continuing on with the series, so why should I bother keeping a book that's just taking up space? And then number 8, a book that you bought because of the cover. Now funnily enough for this one, when I was actually answering all these questions, I couldn't come up with anything for this one. And then recently I read a book that I had bought because of the cover and I was not a big fan and I won't be continuing with the series, so I decided to unhaul that book. And that is The Witch's Kiss by Catherine and Elizabeth Kaur. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars, I think. It wasn't a bad book, it just wasn't a book for me. I think if I had read this one maybe back when I was in high school, I would have loved it a lot more, but reading it now, it was just sort of meh for me and I don't really have any interest in continuing on with the series. I actually remember when I bought this book though, I bought it when I went to Big W. My job had given me a gift card and I went to Big W and just decided to cover buy a bunch of books. And I mean, the cover does look pretty cool, but unfortunately the story inside just wasn't as good. Number 9, a book that you didn't know anything about, and for this one I'm going with The Opposite of Here by Terra, Alta, Brando. I think I got this book at one of the YA Circle meetings. I think it was just a free book that maybe I won it, or it was just one of the free books they sometimes have to give out. And I remember knowing absolutely nothing about it, and I read this one, it was right when I took it with me to America and I read it right when I got there. Honestly, I probably should have just left it in America because now I'm going to get rid of it. It wasn't a bad book, it just was kind of meh for me and I just really don't see the point in keeping it. I'm never going to read it again and I do think other people will probably enjoy it more than I did. And then number 10, a book that you didn't buy. For this one I'm going with Infinity, Samba, Silveira. I feel awful getting rid of this book because my friends actually bought it for me for a birthday present, but it was just such a bad book. It was awful, it was terrible. I gave it 2 stars. I was really not a fan. I don't anticipate me ever continuing on with this series, so I'm just gonna give it away and hope someone else likes it more than I did. I do feel bad though because obviously my friends bought it for me for a birthday present, but in my defense, they tried to buy me a bad book and they succeeded. And so there you go, those are the 10 books that I'm going to be unhauling as part of the Book Unhaul challenge. I wasn't tagged to do this challenge and I'm not going to tag anybody, but if you were looking at your shelves and figured that they could probably use a bit of an unhaul, then consider yourself tagged. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have read any of these books and if you think I'm making a mistake in unhauling them. Obviously the majority of them I have already read, so don't think you're going to change my mind in this situation. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.